is going to be my
Posterior, communicating.
posterior, inferior,
Posterior,
pike.
cerebral.
Right. So you see over here, posterior, inferior. So this is my vertebral, right? This free end over here. Then I have my pica coming off right here. You see that? Running posteriorly inside of the cerebellum, right? To run on the posterior and inferior surface of the cerebellum. Next up, so that happened at the pontomedullary sulcus. Above the pontomedullary sulcus, obviously, is going to be the pons, right? So you have the anterior inferior cerebellar artery. You see, instead of running at that interface between my pons and my medulla, I have it right above my pons. Right? And then the next one up, so that's my posterior inferior communicating, that's my anterior inferior communicating. The next one up is my
Superior.
Exactly. So you see over here, it actually looks like two arteries. They bifurcated early over here, but you have your superior cerebellar artery right there. You guys see that? Right? And if I peel this back over here and I look, you see the superior cerebellar artery is running on the superior surface of the cerebellum. Right? All right. So the superior cerebellar artery, and then I have my, what's the next one up? This big fat one over here is the posterior cerebral artery, right? And you can see that running back as well. Right? So from my posterior cerebral artery, I have my posterior communicating, and you see this open end of this. Yeah. So the internal carotid was cut away, and you see it coming in and merging with my posterior communicating artery to give my middle cerebral. Okay. So my middle cerebral artery runs in what fissure to get to the lateral surface of the brain?
Lateral? Looks like lateral fissure.
Lateral fissure, transverse fissure, right? You see it over here, and this, you see it running in over here? Okay. So this is my optic chiasm. If I peel my optic chiasm back, you can see.
Right behind it? Oh, is that the
anterior communicator?
anterior communicator?
Anterior cerebral.
Anterior cerebral, right? So from, let's peel that back again, right? You guys see this is my big honking MCA over here, right? This is my internal carotid, and then off of my MCA comes my anterior cerebral, right? And my anterior cerebral, remember, my anterior cerebrals usually run, you see them running left-right over here. Right? They're running left to right over here, right? They get pinched together by my anterior communicating.
So it's very small.
Yeah, very small. Right?
Oh, okay.
So over here, you see, I have
Anterior communicating.
Yes, I
my
can see.
anterior communicating is under the probe, right? And I also have one anterior cerebral over here, one anterior cerebral over here. And that's my anterior communicating artery.
And this is the middle cerebral, right?
This over here is the middle cerebral.
Middle cerebral.
So the middle cerebral is middle to the anterior and posterior. The middle cerebral does not run on the middle surface of the brain. It actually runs on the lateral surface of the brain. Right? So this is my anterior communicating, and then distal to my anterior communicating, if I split open the longitudinal fissure over here, you see that? You see all that, right? That's the continuation of my anterior cerebral. Right? So I have my anterior cerebral before the acon, my A1, and the anterior cerebral after the acon, my A2.
And then it runs into the atmospheres, the hemispheres.
Right? So this is my anterior communicating, my anterior cerebral. This is my anterior communicating, and that's a continuation of my anterior cerebral. Right? So A1, acon, A2. Right? Okay. That's it. Yep.
Wait, this is anterior, you said also communicating A2?
A2 is anterior cerebral.
Oh, cerebral.
Anterior cerebral before acon is A1, anterior cerebral after acon is A2.
Okay.
Oh, this is different.
Right?
Different.
A1 and okay.
Alright, thank you.
For this one, Dina, go over it again. I think you heard it. Okay, so this is recorded, by the way. It's fine. Okay, so this is vertebral. I'm right? You're right. I thought about the same thing. Okay, so this is
This is mine, yeah.
we have
I just
vertebral
don't wanna,
artery
like,
and
pick it
vertebral
up.
artery come together to make a basilar artery.
Yes.
When it comes together to form basilar artery, it gives off the branch of pica, which is posterior inferior cerebellar artery. Then it goes up, it gives anterior inferior cerebellar artery, which is ICA. Then it goes up and it gives SCA, which is superior, right? Superior cerebellar artery. Then it goes up, so there are 3 cerebellar arteries. Then it gives then goes up, and basilar artery gives off posterior cerebellar artery. I'm sorry, posterior cerebral, because this were cerebellar, this is cerebral.
So there's 3 cerebellar, 3
and 3
cerebral.
cerebral. So this is posterior cerebral. Then posterior cerebral gives off posterior communicating, posterior cerebral communicating. Then posterior cerebral communicating together with together with internal carotid artery gives off middle cerebral.
No.
Yes.
You have internal carotid just coming
Comes
in.
out of nowhere
And then internal carotid gives
together with
it
posterior
just connects.
communicating,
And then ICA gives off middle cerebral artery.
what is what?
Internal carotid gives off middle cerebral artery. And then middle cerebral artery gives off interior cerebral.
And then two anterior cerebrals meet together as anterior.
And then you have.
Or my hand with the glove?
And then you have.
You think you heard me?
And then you have. Right?
Just leaves the table, and before he even leaves there, it goes, oh,
A2. What is A2?
I'm like, he heard you. I know.
Which one? The artery guy?
Yeah, that's it. Just.
But it sounded so low.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay, my camera is gonna die, so you can just trace it.
Okay,